Welcome to BodyWork. Welcome back. It's Michael Rogers. Welcome to BodyWorkBoxing. This is the first edition of a new series I'm going to be doing called Talking Heavy. Why? Because I remember Iron Mike Tyson back in the day. I was born in 80. Looked up to Tyson. Before I knew the ins and outs and what was going on, everybody had to see Iron Mike. I was one of them. I remember seeing the tragic loss that he suffered. But I'm looking at everything now, and I'm looking at young Mike. I'm listening to the new Mike, and I heard a young man bring up Mike Tyson in an interview. But I remember how savage and how brutal Mike was. But when you actually sit and you listen to Mike, you hear some of the maturity. He's still Mike. He's still, it's still unpredictable. You still never know what you're going to get. But I often think, like, how did Mike, because if you look at how Mike was early in his age, I was like, well, how did Mike come to the ripe old age to still have pretty much all of his faculties and still be able to make moves and still be recognizable and relevant in the sport today? And it has to be part of the maturation. I want to talk about BigBaby Anderson. I had spoke about him a while ago, and I was saying that the world, mainly U.S. boxing, wasn't really quite ready to embrace JaredAnderson because they feared the backlash, because it would look like they were turning their back on the other heavyweight champion, Deontay Wilder. And I was saying that BigBaby has all of the tools. He has all of the weapons. Very smart, very intelligent guy, very well spoken. And I was starting to build up and muster and say, this is what we need. Somebody that's dynamic, that can do different things, make adjustments, can box, can move, had good feet. He sparred with Shakur. He very athletic, getting excited just like everybody else. And we heard the Roy Jones interview, and then we was like, oh, do he love the sport? And then, we seen some of the things that's been happening as far as some of the troubles, the run-ins with the law. That's not my lane. But in seeing all of that, I'm saying, man, what is going on? So when I seen a recent interview with him on there, I started breaking everything down. I was like, okay, legal troubles, I got you. That's young people stuff. You're learning, you're growing, you're maturing. Settle down, but that's just young. We all make mistakes. Then I said, okay, baby on the way. It's like, yeah, that's pressure. And a lot of people don't realize that when a woman is pregnant and she's with the man is pregnant too. Diego Pacheco, we just seen him come out after, he just had a baby, and he's doing all these things, and those kind of things mature you in different ways and affect you in different ways that you might not realize. And then I kept listening to him. He was just saying that, pretty much boxing really wasn't his thing, and his mom put him in it, and his trainer had a plan for him, and, he just don't give off the vibe that he's all the way there. And somebody was asking him, like, are you in love with it? Do you see this? He was just saying, look, I'm here to do this and this and that. And I said, man, Mike, let's cut through all of the everything. Let's just go right through like a hot knife through butter. What is it? He basically spoke about how he was ranked. You can hear in his voice when it came down to it, it was almost like JaredAnderson had his eureka moment. He sat back and he looked at the sport of boxing. Because remember, he seen Deontay Wilder and what kind of person and what kind of champ he was and what reign he had. He seen Adrian Broner being from the same place and all that. He seen them guys and felt the magnitude of it. My man Pop Smoke talk about it all the time. He says, hey man, it's the pressure, it's the pressure, it's the pressure. I'm like, yeah, it's the pressure, but then I'm also looking a little bit deeper, man. It's almost like he's tired of the politics. Because I was saying, when I was looking on this side as far as the heavyweights, I was like, well, who's next up and coming? Him and the Cuban Flash, Frank Sanchez. A killer, a Sasquatch of his own. Then you got a Jogba who's, you know, co-maining on this, you know, or on the undercard, or however you want to put it. But it's almost like Jared already seen that boxing is full of politics. And with him being ranked and being who he is and what he's capable of and how he's coming up, wasn't a lot of people really jumping out. He's basically saying, man, I can't make you sound on the bottom line. I can't make you do this. I can't. So it's almost like the frustration of like, all right, look, I know I'm on borrowed time with this boxing thing. I know I can do it. I got the skills to pay the bills, but I'm really trying to cut my teeth on something. So I'm like, okay. I understand where you're coming from, Jared. Yes, you're going to have fans. Yes, you're going to have people that critique you. My only advice is this. Keep the main thing until you have another main thing that will overshadow this. Keep the main thing, right? And then you got to reflect and you got to analyze and you got to look and you got to say, look, if I'm going to be doing it because of a sport like boxing, you can't be halfway in and halfway out. Can't be halfway in and halfway out, because you get caught slipping, you in the big boy division. So, you know, gotta commit to it. But when you commit to it, that anger, that frustration, you know, you seeing this and that, learn how to garner that, harness that, and go out there and fight with that and see where it take you. Yeah, get out of the way of the legal troubles. You know, I like that he likes to confront things head on. You know, that's one of the first things that I learned about BigBaby when he was doing his interviews. He's almost too forward. Just like that last time we seen Earl and heard from Earl Spence. It's almost like, man, you almost too straightforward. For you to be the guy, it's like, leave some things close to the vest, still be who you are. But it's almost like, hey, look, you worth a lot to a lot of people, mainly yourself. And you owe it to yourself to try to do this thing, man, because the odds of somebody being in the position that you are in are slim to none. But while you're doing it, figure out a way to fall in love with it again. Figure out a way to harness that anger you have, that disdain you have, because you know how greasy boxing can get, and go out there and do your opponent something dirty. I think you can get the train back on the tracks. Not that it ever went off, but just the focus and everything back. You know, I think that was it's just some young people stuff that was going on, and I think JaredAnderson is a force to be reckoned with. It's whether or not he wants to. If he wants to keep this train on the tracks. Because it's easy to give up, but I would like to be able to see him with a Mike Tyson moment and up in age, you know, being as intelligent as he already is, and then going through some of these experiences and all that. And just learn how to balance out everything. You get everything balanced, you can just put it all in, but boxing doesn't overshadow everything. But gotta commit to the sport. And it's a lot of people that think that BigBaby is the next big thing. I'm one of them. You know, but I respect what JaredAnderson brings to the table. I respect, you know, what he does inside the ring. I'm just like, man, young man, if you just focus and seize this opportunity in this moment, and don't have the hindsight as 2020s with this thing. Just go all out. See where it take you. We know heavy is the head to wear the crown, but you got the shoulders that's built for it. Anyways, that's it. That's all. Thanks for tuning in here at BodyWorkBoxing. But we don't take things for face value. We do that body work.